chance qualifier round out the 20-rider field. The 32nd board is up for our first qualifying heat, which, as you've already seen, includes Jeremy McGrath. Also, number 2 in the point standings, Doug Henry. So and number 2 and 3rd in the point standings square off here in our opening qualifying heat here this afternoon from the Metrodome.
You got to look at there, Jeremy going through his pre-start routine, clapping his hands. He always stretches his arms out. Does it every time. See if it's going to pay off for him this week.
Also, Greg Albertine, the winner in Los Angeles, and second in Daytona. Ezra Lusk, Michael Craig, Phil Lawrence, all mixing it up here. But our first qualifying heat is underway at the Metrodome.
Jeremy getting off to a bad start. He got pinched out.
Out in front, it's Ezra Lusk, number 11, number 8. And it's Albertine taking over the lead on Team Suzuki. Number 20, Henry in 3rd, getting a challenge from Lawrence. Jeremy McGrath now taking on Doug Henry, number 20, as you take a look from the roof cam to show us the great lines. Here's number 8, Albertine, out on top. What a fine Daytona run he had last week.
Fantastic. A lot of people holding their breath. Each time that Albertine is up there, he's been known to go down. He held it up on 2 wheels, got a great finish, putting Suzuki on the podium along with his teammate McGrath.
Albertine, Daytona was his best showing since winning that opener. A strong, accident-free ride.
Greg looking really good right here. Side by side with Lusk at the whoops that first lap. They're coming through here again where the start came in. Albertine rather. There I go again. Getting through that section a little quicker than Lusk. Start makes such a difference in these heat races, being so short.
Jeremy McGrath now in 4th position. Moves into 3rd in front of Ezra Lusk.
See the difference in lines, that big outside berm. It's more like a Daytona wall out there.
Looks like Team Suzuki against Team Yamaha right now. Here's Jeremy McGrath. He takes Doug Henry into 2nd place in our first qualifying heat. So it's Albertine, McGrath, Henry, Lusk, and Craig.
Jeremy not getting a whole lot of practice today. Made some changes to the motorcycle. Didn't get but 1 lap of practice in the first session. So this is a little bit more practice for Jeremy.
Lusk getting hung up in those whoop sections. That is a vicious whoop section here today.
Well, it's just all, doesn't rely on any timing. Every time the riders get 3 or 4 dialed in, they got another gap and then a big one, and it's really causing a lot of problems so far.
Jeremy McGrath to the inside. So number 1 is showing us how comfortable he is on that number 1 bike.
Looking good. There's his mechanic, Wyatt. He's got to erase what he had put down on the board, probably. Didn't think he'd get in the lead that quick.
Ooh, Albertine smacks it hard, and he drops back to 3rd.
Tough off-camber section right there. Jeremy trying to get a little wheelie out of there and drive off the backside. Also gives the guy in 2nd a face full of dirt.
Jeremy McGrath in the lead with Doug Henry in 2nd place. Greg Albertine in 3rd with Ezra Lusk starting to put pressure now. Only the top 4 make it to the main event. Michael Craig is on the bubble in 5th. Here's Lusk trying to get up on that rear bumper of Greg Albertine. Albertine looking strong.
To the inside this time, Lusk wide. We're going to see some passing there all night.
A vicious step up here, and the worst part is coming back off of it.
Well, it steps down, then it steps back up. There goes Lusk to the inside. Albertine just got caught a little wide. That's what happens. You make one mistake, and the talent here is all so tight, that'll drop you a position.
Ezra Lusk from Bainbridge, Georgia, number 11, goes into that deep rut. It might rut out here tonight.
They'll do the best they can to take care of it. You see another one right there going up the finish line jump. They're going to get bad, but they'll do their best to take care of it, especially before the main events.
With everybody changing position, which 4 riders will make the main? We'll find out when we return to the Metrodome.
Walk in with no down payment. Ride off with a new Honda Shadow or Magna. Walk in, get low financing. Ride off with a Honda Goldwing or Valkyrie. Walk in at the right time. Ride off with a CBR 600 F3 and a custom watch while supplies last. Until May 31st, get low financing, no down payment, and a custom watch with selected models at your Honda dealer. The Honda Ride-Off. Walk in, ride off.
If it was baseball, his rookie card would be worth a small fortune. If it was football, every kid would be wearing his jersey. But Jeremy McGrath had other plans: to take a motorcycle and to show the world how far your dreams can take you.
ready for the thrill of your life. AMA Supercross Live. A Saturday night you'll never forget. AMA Supercross Live. The guts and the glory of the best riders in the world. AMA Supercross Live. Feel the rush of the most extreme sport on the planet. Live. AMA Supercross. The 1997 flight to the finish. Live it live.
Do you need a Visa credit card? If you can say yes to these minimum requirements, we'll say yes to you. This is a special opportunity to get an unsecured Visa credit card with no security deposit required, even if you've been turned down before and regardless of your past credit history. Almost everyone will be approved for this Visa credit card, so call now. Repeat, if you can say yes to these minimum requirements, we'll say yes to you. Say yes to this limited no-risk offer for an unsecured Visa credit card from Cross Country Bank. Call this toll-free number now.
AMA Supercross on ESPN2 is being brought to you by Suzuki. Your Suzuki dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. And by Honda. With a whole line of new motorcycles, your Honda dealer is the most exciting place to be this spring. Honda, come ride with us. Welcome back to the Metrodome. Jeremy McGrath here in the opening qualifying heat leads Doug Henry. Ezra Lusk has moved into third with Greg Albertine now getting some pressure from Michael Craig, number 15, Honda of Troy. We've got it on the bubble. Which rider's going to make it to the main event? Jeremy McGrath, number 1, is out in front, starting to get into some lappers already in our qualifying round.
Jeremy's starting to get a little pressure now. Just behind him, Doug Henry's creeping up. Jeremy trailing Henry in the points. This would be a mental battle. A real boost for Henry if he can get around McGrath before that main event.
Going down on the far side, too.
Greg Albertine getting caught up with a lapped rider. Went down pretty hard.
Albie went down running into a lapped rider. You're right.
Looks like
it was Beloy, Kevin Beloy. And Albertine is going to have to go to the semifinal rounds to make it into the main event after such a great start here in the opening qualifying heat.
That's how fast things can change. Look at Jeremy's riding so good now. That rut getting a little deeper in that right-hand corner, but in the left, wheeling out of that berm. That shows me he's got great balance and he's confident.
Jeremy really a lot more comfortable on that machine right now. They've been tweaking it all along during the season after opening the season with only a week to get the bike built. As we look back to Doug Henry in second place. Lusk still with the battle for Craig and Lawrence in fifth. So Michael Craig is really the big benefactor of Albertine going down.
That's the same place that Craig went down in practice. Very hard, but he did it on his own. So things can change in this sport from lap to lap. When it looks like you got it all wrapped up, something happens, and it doesn't always have to be your fault. A lapped rider getting in the way right there.
Doug Henry riding a lonely race right now. In second place, final lap.
Doug losing just a little bit of time to McGrath.
He's got a 3-second lead on Henry. As we go into the final lap.
Lusk at one time was closing in on his teammate, but look at all the lapped riders for McGrath to contend with. Doesn't seem to bother him very much.
The crowd screaming for McGrath to put a show on, but McGrath's not in a frame of mind like that right now. He has not won a race yet on the 97 season, but he holds more podium positions than anyone else, including Emig. That's put him right up there in the points race and a chance as this season winds down. Jeremy McGrath looking very strong here at the Metrodome. The checkers for Jeremy, who's won every race that's been staged here Supercross-wise in this Metrodome. Davey Coombs will visit with Jeremy. And our leader, points leader, Jeff Emig, Mike LaRocco, Larry Ward, and others coming up next in heat number 2.
Are you ready for more? More action, more danger, more impact. Well, your wait is over. The hottest, most intense, extreme crash impact ever. Crash Impact 2. 70 minutes of explosive, heart-stopping crash action. You have to see to believe. All new crashes from Superbikes, Harley Series, drag racing, stock cars, sprint cars, Supercross, Indy cars, flat track, and more. All jam-packed on 2 tapes for only $19.95. Order now and get absolutely free. The new Extreme Sports Virtual Reality, featuring insane extreme sports from around the world like you've never seen before. You'll get the all-new Crash Impact 2, plus the Extreme Sports video free. 3 tapes that'll blow you away. Guaranteed or your money back.
To order, call 1-800-997-2992. That's 1-800-997-2992. Or send $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping and handling to the address on your screen.
NHL tonight, Tuesday through Saturday at 11:30 or after the game, only on ESPN2.
Welcome back to Supercross of the Metrodome in Minneapolis. Qualifying heat number 1 just concluded. These 4 making it to the main event. Phil Lawrence, Cliff Palmer, and Albertine will have to go to the semifinal round. Davey Coombs is trackside with Jeremy.
Thanks, Art. I'm down here with Jeremy. Jeremy, that's the way you want to start your night. Yeah, for sure. I haven't had a good heat race like that in a while. Now, I noticed you got kind of pinched off on the start. What happened?
Yeah, I was a little bit late on the gate, I think. You know, my Suzuki's running really good. I just was a little bit late that time.
Yeah, did we see your best stuff yet?
Well, you know, I felt really smooth out there in my heat race that time. I mean, better than I have probably all year. I'm really excited about that race. And, you know, I'm looking for a good start in the main. And maybe I went around those guys pretty easy, so maybe I can do that in the main.
Well, there's a lot of people out there pulling for you to get the first win tonight.
I sure hope so. You know, I'd like to thank all my sponsors: 800 Collect, Suzuki of Troy, Suzuki, Fox Racing, you know, everyone, my mom and dad, my sister, everyone that's behind me, and, you know, thanks for being patient.
All right, we'll let you get back to the pits and get ready for the main.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Davey. Jeremy McGrath, you can really feel it, can't you? He is hyped for this race. He feels good. He feels confident about his bike and about the way he can perform on it right now.
You can see it, and there was a few things out there that I noticed that he was doing that led me to believe that he was feeling comfortable and really good with that, with that motorcycle for once.
Mike LaRocco, number 5, looking up to the scoreboard as we get set for qualifying heat number 2. As we look now at our Suzuki track map, David Bailey, we see in contrast to Daytona last week a short, very technical track.
Also, the start quite a bit shorter and a right-hand first turn, hard packed right into the whoop section. Then at the top of the screen, right after the triple jump, they head into a stair-step section. It stair-steps down, then back up again. That's been pretty tricky for the riders. Then right before the finish, you get a zigzag off camber corner. Pretty tricky, and if you get a little aggressive, you might be able to get in there and bump somebody out of the way before the finish.
That's a fascinating part of this track. There's Jeremy Albright, the mechanic for Jeff Emig, number 3, the winningest rider on this season with victories in Phoenix, Indianapolis, and Daytona. He has a string going, David, of winning every other race. This week, it's not his turn. At least that's what Jeremy McGrath will tell you. But he's great at hole shots. He had 4 hole shots in the previous 7 main events so far this year. There you see 30, Rich Taylor alongside Mike LaRocco. Mike LaRocco Sr., his mechanic, revving that machine as we get set for a second qualifying round. Brian Swink, number 13.
Emig has been just flawless off the gate, but he's going to have to be tonight. It's a tighter track. We saw Jeremy feeling pretty good in that first heat. I think he's ready to give Emig a challenge no matter where he has to come from off the line. And LaRocco, he's been pretty consistent this year, and he's right there in the points, not that far away.
Let's go down to Davey.
Talking to Jeff Emig right after the Daytona Supercross. You know, the last 2 weeks he has led every single lap of 250cc racing. That includes Gainesville, and that includes Daytona, the Outdoor National, and the Supercross. Of course, he's gotten the whole shot each time. He says right now he's starting better than he has in his entire life.
3 wins. He's done great in the preliminary rounds, getting good gate positions, and that's really what the top names are fighting for here. The top 4 riders not only make it to the main, but they get their first choices over everyone else as to which gate they want to start from. Even though we have an interesting longer start before the right-hand turn. We're set to go for the second qualifying heat. Let's see who gets out of the gate the quickest. Lamson also in this crowd, and it's Emig, number 3. A clean one for Jeff Emig. Number 5, Mike LaRocco. Number 4, Steve Lamson. Number 13, Swank. Larry Ward, number 6 in that order.
Check out LaRocco with that second place start. He almost beat Emig off the line.
Emig tweaking a leg in practice. It doesn't seem to bother him at all right now, as Mike LaRocco has performed well here in Minneapolis before.
He has, and also Jimmy Button getting into that right-hander, just knocking Larry Ward out of the way. He's carving his way to the front just behind these guys. There's Jimmy right there over the triple.
Boy, look at him. That's a great angle. Lamson not going for the triple there. What if something's wrong with him, as Jeff Emig is our leader here in the second qualifying heat. Still in pursuit is Mike LaRocco, number 5. Number 13, Brian Swink, one of his finest qualifying appearances so far. In the number 3 spot with Jimmy Button moving into 4th.
This is all Emig has seen lately, is green flag and a clear track. His starts have been amazing, and although he's been riding well, it'd be interesting to see what would happen if he had to come from behind just once.
Moving back in the pack, because that's really the important spot. Can Larry Ward or Steve Lamson move by a couple of lesser-known riders to get into the main?
There goes Button again, working on Swing, gets around.
Jimmy Button has had several isolated, excellent performances.
You can see that time Swink only able to go for the double. If you get in a battle, look at like the battle between Larry Ward and Steve Lamson going on through that off-camber corner. We're going to see some passing there tonight, because that inside berm, there's another one right there. They get so deep, you got to go somewhere else.
A great battle between the Team Honda and the Honda of Troy machines of Lamson, number 4. He bobbles a little bit. Can Larry Ward take advantage of it in this battle for 5th? You got to get by the battle for 5th, because the top 4 are the only ones that make it to the main out of this one.
Lamson just having a little trouble through that root section. It's tough enough as it is, and you got cross-rutted in there. You got to jump from ruts, land in ruts. You just got a little offline. Almost allowed Larry Ward around.
Right now, Jimmy Button in 3rd is in very good position. That's interesting to see. Button with an 8th in the opener this year, a 9th in Daytona. He's starting to put some good performances together for that Team Chaparral. 48-second timing.
Pretty quick. A lot quicker than Daytona, that's for sure. That's going to be a much shorter main event. I talked with Larry Brooks after Daytona about Button. He said the guy is so fast, so confident, but he's always just fading a little bit towards the end. If they can just get him a little bit better shape, especially with the outdoors coming up, that'd be good for him indoors.
Oh, that's scary. Jeff Emig has really done a tremendous job this year in maturing into a good championship rider, if not a great one. Button is now putting the pressure on LaRocco. There you see it, number 18 and number 5. LaRocco having trouble in those step-up and step-downs. They are vicious. In fact, Lamson is now stalled out after coming off the step-down. He's out of it.
There you can see Emig just out of the corner. LaRocco losing just a little bit of time each lap.
Good perspective on the track. Over the finish line jump they go through the ruts. Emig with a 2-second lead on Mike LaRocco. Jimmy Button is next, and then Swink. Oh, the Swinkster.
Mike LaRocco probably just doesn't know what to do with such a great start. If he can do that in the main event.
This is the first time the Swinkster has made the main event out of the heat race. If that is the case, if he can hold his position in 4th with Larry Ward coming on. Well, can he do it? Can he hold on? 4 more riders in tonight's main event will be coming out of here just minutes away. We'll get the answer.
Fuel-injected 90-degree V-twin, an exotic all-aluminum truss frame, and a rear suspension so advanced it's patented. Introducing the Suzuki TL1000S, a sport bike with such forward thinking, the rest of the world seems backwards.
If you had a Soloflex machine, you could do 32 real iron pumping exercises. You could build muscle, lose fat, look better, feel better, and have more energy.
Soloflex is on sale now. Call now for your free brochure.
Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Coombs from Minneapolis with round 8 of the best Supercross riders in the world. We're in the second qualifying heat right now. Let's go down to Davey Coombs, trackside.
Hey, Jeremy, how's Jeff Emmett keep getting all these great starts?
Well, besides him having a fast Kawasaki, you know, he's got really good reactions. He's always been a really good starter. Just him and the bike together, you know, he always seems to be getting really good starts, and hopefully in the main event he does the same thing.
All right.
Oh, real battle for second place as we get into the lappers. Jimmy Button battling it out with the Luraco, and he breezes right through the sandwich. Oh, baby, what a gutsy move.
That was gutsy, and now he's got a shot at Emmett. You see Emmett right in front of him. Button with some different lines. They've all been working for him so far, carving his way through the traffic. Boy, he didn't have much room right there.
Would that be something? Jimmy Button winning a qualifying heat with Jeff Emming in there.
Maybe Brooks said something to him after all. Get him fired up.
Mike Luraco fighting it back in third place now. Those lappers playing a big part on this short track in qualifying.
Yeah, it's going to be worse in the main event. It's going to be more lappers to contend with, a lot more laps, and the track's going to be a little tougher.
Right on the bumper of Jeff Emming, number 18, Jimmy Button. Oh, Jimmy Button, some story. Looked like an extremely promising rider coming out of the 125 ranks because he came up second in the point standings in one 125 Western season. Had his problems staying upright and then went to Europe to try to get some money and get back on track. He came back to the United States and has been running very well. Had a good season in the World Supercross offseason. He gets the challenge after bobbling now. Here comes Luraco. He wants to take second place over on the final lap. Luraco battling Jimmy Button. Now Emmig has a safe lead on the final lap. Oh, Button almost bounced right over the bars that time. Here comes Luraco. Team Suzuki's Mike Luraco getting every better with each round.
That's good to see Mike fight back like that. I was hoping he wasn't going to give up.
Still with a little tender shoulder, Mike Luraco moves into second place. Luraco, his best finish, a second place in Indianapolis, but he's never really been out of the hunt except for one race, a 15th in the second round at Los Angeles. But everyone in the whole field has had at least one double-digit race.
Button's had some share of good rides, but they've all ended kind of lousy. And right here, it's fine ride, also Swink.
Here comes the checkers for Jeff Emming. Mike Luraco taking it smooth across the line, as does Jimmy Button. Swinkster goes to the main event. We've got some big names on their way to the semifinal round out of this one. We'll be right back in a moment.
Presents Max Jerome, Private Eye.
When I saw her, my heart started pounding like a heavyweight speed bag until she started calling collect without dialing 1-800-COLLECT.
You could be saving up to 44% by dialing 1-800-COLLECT, Angel. Let me show you how it's done.
It's so easy. Now let me show you how it's done.
Any Joe will tell you, 1-800-COLLECT is the easy way to save up to 44%.
You're lucky. You only think everyone is out to get you. The Penguins and Rangers tomorrow at 7:30. The NHL on ESPN2.
8 riders have now qualified for the Minneapolis Supercross. These 4 from our last qualifying heat, and Jeff Emmings with Davey Coombs.
Thanks, Art. I'm down here with Jeff Emick. Jeff, congratulations on another good heat race win. That's 5 races in a row that you've led every single inch.
Well, I have nobody to thank except for all my mechanic. My mechanic Jeremy Albrecht and everybody at Team Kawasaki in Bridgestone.
How do you keep getting the good starts, man?
I don't know. I think it's something my mechanic's doing to the bike. He seems to be tuning it in pretty good. And I don't know. I just it's really pretty simple philosophy. When the gate drops, you go as quick as you can.
I know you don't look in the rearview mirror very often, but did you happen to see McGrath in the first heat race?
Yeah, sure did. Watched him in heat race, watched his lines. You know, I watch everybody's lines, find out what's working, what's not. And, you know, I kind of ventured out a little bit on my own, wrote a little bit different lines that race. But, man, I'm more than happy to be up here. And I'd like to thank Kawasaki and Bridgestone, Shift, Arnett, Shoei Helmets, Alpine Star Boots, and Troy Lee Designs, SurfCam Software, and Cytomax.
Okay, right on, Jeff.
Thanks.
Jeff Emick once again out in front. And after we end our excitement here in the Minneapolis Metrodome, we go to the Houston Astrodome, one of the oldest venues of Supercross. Some hungry riders are getting ready for the semifinal action when we return.
Now, the bike you want equals big-time bucks, correct? Incorrect. Do the math. During Suzuki Fest 97, get up to $500 in Suzuki accessories free with a selected Suzuki, like the awesome GSX-R 1100. You also get free accessories with the Katana 600 and 750 and the RF 900R. And choose from financing options like 0 down and 9.9% APR on selected models. But hurry, Suzuki Fest won't last. So you plus Suzuki equals... Oh, come on, add it up.
For over 30 years, Cycle News has been the weekly newspaper for motorcycle race fans. Results are official, point standings are current, and race coverage is timely and complete.
Oh, it was a great race, you know. I mean, it was an interesting race. And to win the last race and say... It's something I dreamed of when I was a little kid, is to be a Supercross star. And
riding impressions, new products, events calendar, classified ads, and more. Cycle News, America's weekly motorcycle newspaper. Call 1-800-325-2925 or visit cyclenews.com on the World Wide Web.
Out of the shadows come 3 incredible motorcycles. Each one takes the look of a custom to a beautiful new place. The new Honda Shadow Spirit 1100, the new Shadow Ace Tourer, and the Shadow American Classic Edition. It's always cooler in the shadows.
Now is the time to train for the career you've always wanted. Just ask Motorcycle Mechanics Institute graduate Al Luddington, now lead mechanic for Honda's championship-winning Smokin' Joe's Superbike team.
MMI gave me the knowledge and training to take me to the top of my profession. It's a great place to start, and I recommend it to anybody looking to kick off a career in motorcycle mechanics or the personal watercraft industry.
Change your life with one phone call, 1-800-994-3664. That's 1-800-994-3664. Call today.
We're back here in the Metrodome at the Supercross track, and it's this time of year that the rapidity of races becomes very taxing physically. Let's go down to Davey.
Thanks, Art. I'm down here with what we call our track pack. This first turn here at Minneapolis is one of the thinnest first turns we've seen all year. As soon as they break out of this corner, they go down. That section of whoops. It's staggered, it's uneven, and everything. But the thing is, with such a thin field right now, we've got guys like Damon Bradshaw, Ryan Hughes. There's so many guys that are like superstar talent that aren't here. It's not going to be that big of a problem.
There you see Albertine getting ready. He's won a semifinal round and also gone on to a victory after that. Here's the down but not out. Mikel Pichon, a broken leg. He's hoping to get back sometime at the end of April. Huffman is hoping to get back by Orlando. And Hughes, Godrowski, and Bradshaw should be back by Houston. And, of course, we've got lots of riders out there this time of the year, David Bailey, who are riding with all kinds of little bumps and bruises.
Well, it's something you just get used to as being a professional motocross racer, especially if you've been on the pro circuit for a while. Seems like there's always something nagging you, and it does thin out the field a little bit for these semi-rounds, which is always good news for the privateers.
Oh, it's good news, too, for the locals here from Minnesota. We've got 5 riders in the semifinal rounds here tonight that have a shot at making the main event in front of family and friends. The 30-second board is up for our first main event. We've got Phil Lawrence, Cliff Palmer, Greg Albertine, 3 big names trying to make it to tonight's main event. John Dowd, of course, is not with us here tonight. He was 8th in the 250 point standings after a successful 125 East session. But John Dowd is home taking care of business. The babies do it any time.
That's where I would be. He deserves it after a win in Daytona.
Okay, we're set to go now. Let's see who might get the whole shot here in our first semifinal round. The top 5 riders out of this round will make it to the main event. Out of the quarter, number 68, that's Mike Catton Jr. Falling back into second place as Albertine takes over the lead, and number 12 is Phil Lawrence. So Lawrence, who's rebounding from, he's one of the riding wounded actually, rebounding from a very sore thumb tendon as we look from our sky camera here in the Metrodome. It's Albertine, number 8 out in front. On the move is Phil Lawrence. Lawrence into second place, number 12.
So now you got a couple of the favorites we would expect to run up front in the semi, doing just that. Albertine, though, once again, a chance to run away and hide in this semi. See if they can keep away from lapped riders. A little bit of bad luck and a little bit of just cutting it too close.
Jimmy Button with a cracked rib cartilage. He made the main event already. But Phil Lawrence, in battling, is almost back to full speed, as you can see right now.
Now, it's got to be really irritating for Phil, knowing that he's got the speed. He was riding so good during the offseason. And then right before L.A., injuring his thumb, that just really fouled up his whole season now. And he's been trying to ride his way back into shape ever since.
Mike Catton is being pursued by Cliff Palmer. This is the battle for 4th place. Number 89, Ty Birdwell. Palmer gets in front of him.
That's one of the trickiest sections on the racetrack. You come in there blind, you stair step down, then if you get your front wheel off to the wrong bump, then you can't jump out of that section into the corner. Palmer handled it nice and made the pass.
Albertine with a 6-second lead now on Phil Lawrence in second place. That's the finish line jump. And Palmer, out of Oklahoma, is on the move on his Suzuki.
You see going up the finish line plateau jump now that those ruts are gone. Between these races, they get out there with the dozers and try to take care of this racetrack, something they didn't have in Daytona last week. That track just got rougher and rougher, and the worse it got, that's exactly how it stayed.
If you're not a top rider, you've got to qualify during morning and early afternoon sessions to even make this qualifying round and get into semis. And Cliff Palmer won such a qualifying round earlier today.
And again, through that stair step up and down section, Palmer making another pass. That's a place where the guy that's a little bit more technical, has a little more talent, of course a lot more confidence with that talent to drive into a section hard like that, and he keeps on making his passes through there.
Palmer into third. From semifinal action, the top 5 getting the transfer for the main event. Here's how they stand right now. Will Birdwell hang on for that final bubble spot? We'll find out as they run to the checkers when we return.
Are you ready for more action, more danger, more impact? Well, your wait is over. The hottest, most intense, extreme Crash Impact ever. Crash Impact 2. 70 minutes of explosive, heart-stopping crash action. You have to see to believe. All new crashes from Superbikes, Harley Series, drag racing, stock cars, sprint cars, Supercross, Indy cars, flat track, and more. All jam-packed on 2 tapes for only $19.95. Order now and get absolutely free. The new Extreme Sports Virtual Reality, featuring insane extreme sports from around the world like you've never seen before. You'll get the all-new Crash Impact 2, plus the Extreme Sports Video free. 3 tapes that'll blow you away. Guaranteed or your money back.
To order, call 1-800-997-2992. That's 1-800-997-2992. Or send $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping and handling to the address on your screen.
The beauty of this place is they love to promote from within. And you can go from being a production assistant, like Glenn Jacobs was, and go right to the top, practically running this place.
Yeah, gotta run. Talk to you later. See you in Boca. Keith, that biscuit in a basket thing, it's gotta go.
Mr. Jacobs,
no, lose it. The Pillsbury people, they're all over my ass.
Mr. Jacobs,
shut up. Remember what I did to that weasel Kilborn? Now he's slumming at Comedy Central.
You do the right thing, you pay your dues, there's room for you at the top.
Our leader, Greg Albertine, who had a tough time in the first qualifying heat, but he's been known to come back out of this semifinal and win a main event like he did in the opening round in Los Angeles.
Well, normally you don't want to have to go to a semi, but the way things have gone this year, and especially with the way Greg won the opening round after going to the semi, it's not that big of a deal anymore. It messes up your pick to the gate, because of course they take all the guys out of the heats first, then they move on to the semis, and of course the last chance, well, you just take what's left. For Greg, on this start, I don't think that's going to be a problem, but he will get a little more track time, possibly dial that bike in a little bit better for the main. He's obviously got the starts wired.
And right now, it's obvious that he's got his timing down on these jumps. Let's go down to Davey.
Thanks, Art. Ian, was Greg a little shaken up there in that heat race?
Yeah, he was a little. Some guy went down right in front of him. He was totally committed, and he jumped and hit the guy and went down. Of course, it messes up your train of thinking, you know. So I'm glad he's out there just doing his best he can right now and leading the race. It's good for his confidence to go into the main.
Ian Harrison, Albertine's mechanic. We're on the white flag lap, but look at this. Phil Lawrence is making a push to catch up with him, number 12.
Well, Phil's riding good, but he's also, I think he's aware of the fact that Albertine is struggling just a little bit. After going down in the heat race, Albie was really holding his neck a lot as he rode back into the pits. And that's probably bothering him right now. And there goes Phil.
Oh, the team chaparral. Phil Lawrence riding a Yamaha.
You can see Greg, as soon as Phil went around, he already looked back to see if there was anybody else. Like I said, it's the start position at this gate. I don't think it's going to cost him too much, and he doesn't want to push that hard right now.
This is a moment of prestige, though, for Phil Lawrence, winning the semifinal, getting the checkered flag. Phil Lawrence, followed by Greg Albertine, going to the main event. The top 5 bikes still making their way across, as Steve Lampson, who's had a very difficult time of it, will be coming up in our second semifinal round. We'll be back to see how he does after this.
Now you can walk into your Honda dealer and ride off with no down payment, low financing, and a custom watch. And best of all, you can ride off with a new Honda Magna or Shadow. The Honda ride-off ends May 31st.
RPM tonight at 8, only on ESPN2.
Here was the big move in the semifinal round as Phil Lawrence, coming back from injury, and a very painful one, a tendon in the thumb, passes Greg Albertine on the final lap and leads the march of 5 more riders qualifying for the main event. Let's go down to Davey Coombs.
Thanks, Art. I got a visitor here on the podium for the first time this year. Phil Lawrence, congratulations on the semi-win.
Thanks a lot. You know, I mean, it's better to go outside of the heat, but, you know, I mean, this year's been hell for me. You know, I've been trying so hard. Nothing's been working, and, you know, I just took a week off, you know, took it to myself, and, you know, just kind of went back to the basics, why I race, you know, because it's fun. And, you know, it seems to be working this week, and I feel good, and I feel strong. I'm fighting a little head cold right now, but I feel good.
Well, you know, a win is a win, right? It doesn't matter if it's a heat or a semi. Just get a chance to see that checkered flag first.
Yeah, actually, you know, I was talking to Albertine before this race, and, you know, we were talking, and, you know, he actually wanted to go to the semi because there were some places out on the track he didn't quite figure out yet. So, you know, sometimes it's good to go ride the semi. And if you can win it, then it's real good.
Well, maybe we'll see you up here again later on tonight, okay?
Yeah, I hope so. I just want to thank everybody for sticking behind me.
Lawrence, Albertine, Palmer, Catton, and Stone making the main event. And here's one young man right now who's concentrating as hard as he can concentrate. Steve Lampson, a bad crash at the Honda practice track during the week. He's all stiff and sore. He had a tough time in that qualifying round. David Bailey, his mechanic Mike Gossler, very non-committal in emotion right there. trying to loosen his body up. You've been there before. You know what it's like sitting at that gate not feeling that well.
It's just uncertainty. You're completely different from your normal routine where you feel like, well, I should be able to hole shot this thing and win it no problem. And you should be feeling like that in the heat race. Here he is in the semi. And the only thing is, it's not too bad. It's probably going to give him a chance to work those kinks out a little bit more. We just heard Phil Lawrence say he and Albertine were talking about that it's not such a bad deal to go to that semi and get a little bit more time on the track, figure things out, and it's just no different for Steve. 5th in the points and the leading non-factory rider. And privateer has changed as far as the terminology is concerned, especially with independent teams coming in and so forth. Larry Ward, though, does not have a factory bike. Neither does Michael Craig. Mike Kudrowski does. And so even though all 3 run for Honda of Troy, 2 of the 3 are non-factory riders considered. Now, Larry Ward has put together a pretty good season up until Indy and then Atlanta with a 7th and then a 14th. Slipped back just a little bit, but then he had a little bit better performance in Daytona, and hopefully he can get it back online here tonight. He's cooled off since 2 podiums and in the top 5 in the first 4 races. Let's go back to Davey.
Thanks, Art. You know, I asked Larry Ward before this race if it was important to him to be the first Honda out there. He just kind of looked at me and smiled and said, you know, I just want to win. I really don't think about it that way, but I know he's sore about not getting those factory parts.
Billy Blinkley right next to Larry Ward, one of the little-known names, trying to make it to the main event. Top 5 coming out of this semifinal round. Quite a few youngsters from Minnesota in this one. Heath Voss is the most well-known, an accomplished 125 East rider. Okay, we're ready to go. The semifinal round number 2 is underway. Larry Ward with a good jump and a good angle, but it's Lamson who gets the hole shot with Ward right behind him. So the factory Honda and the privateer Honda out front. And the local favorite, number 75, Voss from Prior Lake, Minnesota. Number 75 in 3rd place. It'll be interesting to see how Larry Ward handles this. If he's just going to go for the win or try to learn a lot from Lamson, pull away from the rest of the pack. They should be able to. Rich Taylor makes a move into 4th, and they collide. He collided with number 204, Doug DeHaan. Lamson in the lead now. Yeah, getting out of that corner before the triple, got a little sideways. He had Larry Ward in there pushing him, didn't take the line I think he would have normally taken. Came up short on the triple. Larry Ward just going for the double. Both the triples here tonight. They don't get much of a run at them. The track designers are trying to make it a little more tough on these guys, and they've done it tonight. So nothing but red bikes in the first 4 positions. You know, you can be a privateer these days in the case of Larry Ward and be looking pretty good. When I was racing a privateer, you didn't have a chance in the world. Just looking at your heat race, you're like, oh no, I'm in the 2nd heat. I'll never make it. Well, number 47 making a big move. That's Ryan Huffman, and Ryan's hit in several main events so far this year. He's trying to make a move on Rich Taylor for the number 4 spot. Big jam right there. Taylor getting over that little step off. Almost ran into the back of the guy in front of him. Now you can see they're starting to get 2 lines to the off camber now. That inside berm gets so deep, you start dragging the rear brake pedal and the foot peg. You get mud jammed up in there. They've formed another line. Ryan Huffman, now his next target is Heath Voss. As we take a look out in front, Larry Ward picking up now on Steve Lamson. Lamson coming off a couple of 6th place finishes, looking considerably better than earlier when he got off to a shaky start. What you like to do in these semis for either one of these guys right now is just put together a couple of good laps. Tell your mechanic, give me a lap time. I want to know if I'm running in the pace that they were earlier in the heat races. Try to get the track dialed, and I get if they're thinking too much about each other. Mike Gosler, focus. Oh, you can see that Gosler is trying to get Steve to focus on something other than Larry Ward. Out in front, yes. Forget about this guy. Just go out there, race the track, and hopefully get a little confidence going before our main event. Well, the checkers will be waiting soon. Can Larry Ward catch up with Steve Lamson? We've got a host of riders trying to avoid going to the last chance qualifier behind them. It's all coming up next.
Hey, Vince, there's a big old juicy Honda sitting on an ATV in the mud over there. You suppose he's stuck?
I hope so. I'm starving. Wait a minute. That's a Suzuki King Quad. Selectable 204-wheel drive, 5-speed transmission, 3-speed sub-tranny? Nah, I've yet to see one get stuck.
Then what's he doing just sitting there?
Looks like he just stopped to...
Reload!
The Suzuki King Quad. More features than your friend's ATV.
Do you need a Visa credit card? If you can say yes to these minimum requirements, we'll say yes to you. This is a special opportunity to get an unsecured Visa credit card with no security deposit required, even if you've been turned down before and regardless of your past credit history. Almost everyone will be approved for this Visa credit card, so call now. Repeat, if you can say yes to these minimum requirements, we'll say yes to you. Say yes to this limited no-risk offer for an unsecured Visa credit card from Cross Country Bank. Call this toll-free number now.
The idea of a 24-hour sports news network was actually mine.
Olbermann said it was his idea?
Olbermann?
Yeah, right. I've got a lot of ideas. I'm pretty bright.
Come on. That makes me laugh.
Art Ekman along with David Bailey and Davey Coombs with Supercross from Minneapolis. This is the battle for the lead in our semifinal round. Steve Lampson, Larry Ward, the local Voss in third. Taylor and Huffman are top 5 with 5 riders going to the main event after this one. Check your timing. Get smoother.
Yeah, Steve's a little bit off his timing. The lines aren't all coming together. A little stop and go here and there in some of the corners. It's not flowing, and you can't expect him to be flowing really good. He's got to be sore, and that crash at the Honda practice track really had to throw him out of his timing, and that's what his mechanic's trying to remind him of. There's so much in the head, Supercross is. Everything's happening quick, and at the pace these guys ride, that busy track gets even busier, and if your timing's a little off, you find yourself going to the last chance qualifier.
All right, Gosselaar, boy, is he staring out at that track. Can Steve hold on to take this semifinal round? Semifinal number 2. Those out of the top 5 go to the last chance qualifier. 1 lap remaining. This is the white flag lap now.
Ward's mechanic saying set it up. I don't know where he's talking about. Looks like Steve's got everywhere on the track pretty much covered for Larry, unless he's going to pull something out of nowhere I've seen so far tonight.
It's Lampson, Ward, Huffman are top 3, with Voss and Taylor rounding out the top 5. Going through the lappers once again. Looks like Larry Ward's close enough to possibly make a move, but the lappers are cooperating a little bit right there.
Well, they all got out of the way, and that's just going to make it easier for Steve. Steve blew this corner the last time. He's drifted a little wide. Larry tried something different.
Off camber. Ward just follows Lampson now as the checkers are out. They'll be waving for Lammy. Hopefully a confidence boost for the Team Honda rider, Steve Lampson. There's our 3rd place rider, Ryan Huffman, number 47. His best finish in qualifying this year.
Larry Ward just running right up to the inside of Lampson before the finish line jump, just to let him know he was there. Both these guys finishing in essentially the same time, just Lampson holding on for the win.
Steve Lampson just hoping it will convert into a fine performance in the main event. So 5 more riders get a shot at the purse out of this semifinal round as we take a look at coming up next. We're at the halfway point of the Supercross season. Still time for you to check out the action in person as we go to the Lone Star State, one of the oldest Supercross venues on the schedule. Orlando, St. Louis with the RCA Dome, the Silverdome in Pontiac, Charlotte, the Texas Stadium in Dallas, and then finishing it off at Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas. Don't forget that Sam Boyd Stadium where we've seen so many fine Supercross races in the past. The future superstars, the 125 main event is coming up next.
Now you can walk into your Honda dealer and ride off on a champion. The CBR 600 F3. Walk in and ride off on the best 600 sport bike. Walk in soon and ride off with a custom watch. The Honda Ride-Off ends May 31st.
I'm a soft-spoken kind of guy. There's nothing more important to me than a quiet chat with my son, Shaquille. I just marched to the phone and dialed 1-800-COLLECT. The money I saved him, he can use to buy some new backboards. Take it through the hole, Shaquille. He's gonna and they wonder where he gets it from.
1-800-COLLECT. Save the people you call up to 44%.
The bike you dream about means serious cash, right? Wrong, people. Do the math. During Suzuki Fest 97, get up to $500 in Suzuki accessories free when you buy a selected Suzuki. Like the muscle-bound Intruder 1400. You'll also get free accessories with the Intruder 800 and the Savage 650. And choose from finance options like 0 down and 9.9% APR on selected models. But hurry, Suzuki Fest won't last. So you and Suzuki means, well, you do the math.
Let's get ready to rumble with the greatest sports rockin' jams. 26 hits on 2 CDs. Over an hour and a half of music with 2 unlimited. Tag team. Tone Loc, 2 in a room. Plus, greatest sports rockin' jams. Blitz is the competition with Black Box, Bizarre Inc., Samantha Fox, Gary Glitter, Buster Poindexter, and more. Order now and receive this bonus CD with the top 10 college fight songs. And this sports watch, absolutely free. 36 tracks, 3 CDs, the sports watch, all for only $24.95. With greatest sports rockin' jams. You're ready to rumble.
Receive greatest sports rockin' jams with over 1.5 hours of music. Call the number on your screen now. 3 CDs, $24.95. 2 cassettes, $19.95, plus shipping and handling. Don't wait, call now.
This week's Honda Flashback takes us back to last year's showdown, East versus West. Pichon, number 1 in the East, grabs the hole shot, followed closely by local boy Corey Keeney, but it didn't last long. Wyndham over the triple and passed Keeney into second place, set his sights on Pichon. The first mistake came from McHale, coming up short on the triple, and the dogfight began. Wyndham to the outside, up over the camelback, a little better timing, squares off Pichon and heads down the inside of the whoops. And watch Wyndham through here. Keeps the bike flat and takes over the lead. But Pichon didn't give up. He squares off Wyndham back to the inside through this little rhythm section. And watch what Pichon does. The classic block pass. Wyndham does a nice job to keep it on 2 wheels. And a couple corners later after the triple with a clean pass, Wyndham goes back into the lead. This seemed to go on forever. Pichon comes into the sand pit. Wyndham goes wide to get the momentum for the triple. Pichon to the inside. Wyndham still goes for it, but just like Pichon had done earlier, comes up short, and Pichon keeps the lead. But Wyndham, determined, kept the pressure on Pichon, block passing him for the win in the same place Pichon had done it to him before, en route to his first 125 title.
Here's the 5 riders that'll make it out of the main event from our semifinal number 2. Let's go down to Davey.
Thanks. I'm down here with Steve Lamson. Steve, I know that you'd like to win out of the heat race, but sometimes the semi's not bad, right?
Yeah, it's not bad. I got a little more time on the track, and I wish I had rode better in my heat race, but I was riding really tight, and just came out and loosened up, and I feel really good.
Tell me this, is the pressure building on you from Honda to win a race?
I think I'm letting the pressure myself build up more than anything. You know, Honda's not really pressuring me much, but I'm sure they would like to win right now, and I'm definitely long overdue.
All right, well, good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Steve Lamson and Larry Ward coming out of the semifinal round. As we mentioned earlier, we've got the 125 main event coming up after these words.
Are you ready for more action, more danger, more impact? Well, your wait is over. The hottest, most intense, extreme crash impact ever. Crash Impact 2. 70 minutes of explosive, heart-stopping crash action. You have to see to believe. All new crashes from Superbikes, Harley Series, drag races, stock cars, sprint cars, Supercross, Indy cars, flat track, and more. All jam-packed on 2 tapes for only $19.95. Order now and get absolutely free. The new Extreme Sports Virtual Reality featuring insane extreme sports from around the world like you've never seen before. You'll get the all-new Crash Impact 2 plus the Extreme Sports video free. 3 tapes that'll blow you away. Guaranteed or your money back.
To order, call 1-800-997-2992. That's 1-800-997-2992. Or send $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping and handling to the address on your screen.
AMA Supercross is being brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT, the way we call collect today. Welcome back to the Metrodome in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where a great crowd on hand. This could be the largest crowd we've had here in Minneapolis. A clean sellout, 60,049 fans, not a ticket left to buy. While we were away, 2 Canadians, Doug DeHaan and Jason Fournette, qualified for their very first 250 main event, filling out the final 2 positions at the gate for the 250s in the last chance qualifier. Right now on their parade lap, the 125 Western Riders. It is round number 4. The points race is tied. Kevin Windham, number 1, with Robbie Raynard. They find themselves in a 3-race series now to recapture the 125 Western Division.
I've had some good races, and I've had some mistakes here and there, and I felt like my season's going pretty good, and then all of a sudden I look and me and Robbie's tied, so I definitely can't count anybody out, and appears to be it's going to be a pretty much 3-race series and race to the end, and can't count anybody out. Every race is important, and it's a relatively short series, so every race is very important.
We've got tonight Houston and Dallas that count for the points race in the 125 West. The East-West shootout in Las Vegas stands alone. So not many races to go, David Bailey. That means one cannot afford mistakes.
Any mistakes at all, it can cost you. You saw Nathan Ramsey leading in Seattle with Villeman there back in the pack. Villeman able to capture and win that race. Vaulted him up in the point standings. And we've seen also Kevin Windham. He's looked so good. He looks like he could have won all 4 races, but in 2 races he crashed twice in each. Cost him the points lead.
The Suzuki 125 West starting grid. We take a look at all the riders. Yeah, Villeman adds a lot of intrigue to the 125 West. A close points race, and leaving for Europe in 3rd place, only 7 points in back of the 2 tied for the points lead. Inspired the sponsors to encourage his return, and looked very smooth in that win in Seattle, David.
Looked great. It's not that often that a guy comes from overseas and rides Supercross and wins one, and it's that soon. And we saw that from Pichon, and Pichon went on to win a title, so maybe we could be seeing the same thing from Villeman in the future.
Kevin Windham with a win in Los Angeles, then in the 2nd run in Los Angeles, an 8th place, a win in Phoenix where he dominated once again, and in Seattle a 6th place where he ran off the track in the ruts, then got plastered by a lapper and ended up coming back from 21st place to 6th, Davey Coombs.
Yeah, he did, and Kevin Windham is one of those guys who's just had an up-and-down season in this 125 class. It's surprising to see Villeman here, but who's missing is our Los Angeles winner, Brian Deegan. He rode practice, hurt his ankle, and he's pulled out. His mechanic, Kenny Watson, is working with Paul Curry with Team Green Rider out of Florida.
And then you've got Nathan Ramsey, of course, with the broken arm before Daytona, and he's probably out for the rest of the 125 Western season. So it's Minneapolis, Houston, and Dallas. Just 3 races to decide a 125 Western title. A lot's on the line in every race.
Each time that Windham has gone out, he's won. Then he had a couple of crashes and he lost. Then he came back and won again. He's due to win another one. We talked about that with Jeff Emig. It's not his turn this weekend to win, but it is Kevin Windham's turn.
Allie Seymour, his mechanic, standing right next to him. Right there you see Allie.
Mechanics spending a lot of time while these guys are out on the parade lap packing in that starting spot. They dig out a rut. They try to fill that up and bring it up to at least the level of the gate so they don't have to run over that bar as they take off.
The 60,000 plus waiting in anticipation of a great 125 battle now. The 30-second board is up. When that goes sideways, they have from 5 to 10 seconds before the gate will drop.
They're nervous now. This is when it all comes to a head. As soon as the sign goes sideways, you forget about being nervous anymore, but right now your stomach's in a knot, especially if you're going for a title.
Robbie Raynard revving it up along with Kevin Windham. Who will get the whole shot? The very early advantage. The $500 for the whole shot award. Kevin Windham into the corner first, and he comes out of the first corner first. He's $500 richer, but he wants the victory more than anything. Jeffrey Willow, number 45, currently in 2nd place. But he's getting a big challenge right now. Number 71, Casey Lytle, is right in the mix with Villeman and Craig Decker. A good start.
A really good start for Decker. He hasn't had that opportunity so far this season. He's had to come from behind a lot. And once again, like in the heat race earlier tonight, Willow off the second, right behind Wyndham. But Wyndham getting over the triple. You see, these guys can't do it.
Raynard is in 12th position. An awful start for Robbie.
Well, being tied in the points lead with Wyndham, what a boost for Kevin right now. When he gets the hole shot like this, he's typically gone.
He's already 3.5 seconds in front of number 45, Jeffrey Willow from Glendale, California.
After watching practice in the heat races, the guys that I would expect to challenge Wyndham are Villeman and Raynard. Both these guys got some work to do before they ever get caught up to Wyndham, if they can get caught up.
Willow trying to get his career back on track. The best race of the year, Daytona, when he took a 5th. He was 8th in Seattle. He has actually won a race in his 125 career. That was in San Diego.
It's been a struggle ever since. Certainly a good rider, but he's had some tough luck. Trying to put it all back together now, and he could do it if he holds on here, be a podium.
Already across the finish line, I should say, was Wyndham, who's now 6 seconds in front of the second place bike, Jeffrey Willow, number 45.
See a good battle shaping up right now between Decker and Villeman.
Raynard in 11th place has now got 14 laps to try to get up with the contenders. He won't catch Wyndham, I don't think, unless something should happen to Kevin.
Now second's up for grabs, but I don't think the guys in second can even see Kevin as soon as they move out onto a straightaway.
Raynard is down. The yellow flag is out for the back bunkers now.
I was taking Raynard. There you see, this is right in the right-hander before the triple. Took him a long time to get going. He's probably got about 10 seconds to catch up to the last place rider.
So a tough break as Raynard gets back into it dead last. Here's our leader, number 1, Kevin Wyndham. Wyndham with a hole shot and a win in Los Angeles. A hole shot and a win in Phoenix. Can he duplicate that performance? The real battle on tonight in the 125 main event is between 45 and 71. That's Willow and Lytle. Lytle, a Honda of Troy rider.
This triple right here that just went through, none of these guys are able to do it. I don't know if that's because they're all too tight, too much traffic. But Kevin Wyndham is jumping the triple there, and he's jumping the one they're about to approach, see if they can do it. Still going for the double, so every lap, Wyndham's picking up about 1.5 seconds on each of these triples and just opening it up more and more.
Villeman in 3rd, number 125. Actually, he's in 4th. Villeman in 4th.
Even in that wide camera shot, trying to get a shot of where Wyndham is, he's still out of the frame.
Well, Villeman still very much in the points race if he can move up the ladder. There's Decker, number 141, making a good move.
Decker's been quick through that whoop section. Each time he gets close to Villeman, that time he was close enough entering it to make the pass. Still, these guys are in a battle all amongst themselves. It's holding up the show a little bit.
Second, third, and 4th, and 5th. Oh, what a freight train we've got. And let's not forget then, number 6 coming on strong. Casey Johnson.
Well, the way things look right now, this is a great night for Wyndham. Pick that points lead. He's been sharing it with Raynard, but with the problems of Raynard, even if he has a great ride, I don't see how he can move around this battle for second place. That's going to give a huge advantage to Kevin.
I guess the big question right now is who is going to take second place? The race for the checkers in round 4 of the 125 West when we get back.
Introducing the all-new Suzuki GSX R600. It's so quick, so intense, so dominating. Just to be fair, you might want to give the competition a bit of a head start.
More air means more power.
and NHRA are your ticket to all the action. Live on pay-per-view, the Pennzoil Nationals from Virginia, Sunday, April 27th. Call your cable company or satellite provider and order now for just $14.95. You'll go trackside to meet the drivers, catch all the highlights and instant replays, and get the complete stats on every run. It's just like being there. The Pennzoil Nationals, Sunday, April 27th, 10:30 to 6. Call now to catch all the action.
It's Kevin Windham, our leader. Jeff Willow in second. Lytle, Decker, and Villeman. The top five: Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Coombs from Minneapolis. 125 Western action.
Looks like some of these guys may be able to move around Willow and pull away, but for the moment, Willow's riding a good enough line. He's going just fast enough to keep them all back there.
Windham tied in points coming into this race with Robbie Raynard. Robbie Raynard's in 21st position. Let's go down to Davey.
Allie, it's cut and run. This was what the plan was. Get out as far as you could. But listen, you're going to tell him to quit jumping those triple jumps.
No, I'm going to let him ride his own race. He knows what he's doing, and he's got a good pace going, so I don't want to mess him up.
Are you going to tell him where Robbie Renard is?
No, he looks around the track. He'll be able to see where he is.
There we go with number 45, and that's Jeff Willow holding on to second place, but on the move right now is Lytle, number 71.
Well, Lytle's got the pressure from Villeman, so he's got to make something happen. Otherwise, he's going to drop a couple of spots. If he can get around Willow, maybe it'll take a little while before.
Here comes Villeman.
Mistake.
Villeman taking advantage of the mistake, and Decker tries for the inside. Decker also makes the pass on Casey Lytle.
That's what happens.
Casey Johnson, 3 riders in a very short period of time move in front of Lytle.
That's all it takes. One mistake.
Can they catch up, though, with number 45 currently in second place, Jeffrey Willow?
That was the best shot we've had of Kevin so far, going the other way, coming back. That's got to be demoralizing to see. You're in second or working your way into second. You look over 10, 15 seconds up the racetrack, and there's Windham just out there cruising around.
2 pro circuit riders battling back and forth. Casey Johnson and Craig Decker on the green bikes as they make an approach right now, trying to catch up with Willow.
Villeman finally working his way into second. Coming off that win in Seattle, where Windham had troubles, having to come through the back of the pack. The situation a little bit reversed now, but
Darrell Hill, Willow's mechanic, saying, hey, push it, push it. He's dropping back, and it looks like he's an easy target now for Craig Decker, number 141. You see right there on your screen, Casey Johnson, number 32, could also take advantage of a pass here if he takes the right line. Johnson going wide. Decker cutting inside, following Willow. Tries the inside. They bump the back tire, Willow. That makes a good opportunity for Casey Johnson, but whoa, nice move by Willow.
Well, Johnson had them both right there, but he made a little bobble on that step up. Didn't get over it good enough. Willow got him right back.
Choosing different lines, now they go for the same rut. The pro circuit riders in pursuit of Willow for third.
Willow still riding a strong race, although, like I mentioned a few laps before, I thought there was a couple of guys who were going a little quicker, one of those being Villeman, who's now already pulled away from this battle. I think it may be the same for the King Kawasaki riders.
Casey Johnson making the outside move. Can 32 secure it? Taps him a little bit now. Willow comes one peg off. And he gets passed by both riders, Craig Decker and Casey Johnson. Johnson, number 32. He had his best ride of the year in Seattle, second place. Third in the season's opener, but he got stuck in the gate in that race, came all the way back with an outstanding ride.
Casey Johnson is another one of those guys that really hasn't been able to show us all of his speed. Probably his best ride of the year was that opening round where he got stuck in the gate, came all the way to third. He didn't take the whole race to do that either. He did it in about 4 laps.
Kevin Windham is so far in front of second place, there's no way he could turn around and see the other rider.
I don't really think he cares either.
He's cutting through the lappers one by one, and that's the good thing about having a huge lead on this short track, David Bailey.
You can afford to take your time a little bit. And being patient a lot of times is the quickest way around those guys anyway. As soon as you come up there panicking in a battle, you tend to make the wrong decision. And for Kevin, it's a lot easier right now having that big lead.
This is the battle right now for third. Casey Johnson and Craig Decker as the number 1 and number 2 riders are so far out in front, they're having lonely rides. Villeman in second place behind the leader, Kevin Windham.
You see how deep that inside line's getting. I wouldn't be surprised in another couple of laps to see him switch out and use that outside berm.
There's the field summary from Suzuki, Windham, Villeman, Johnson, Decker, and Willow. More 125 action when we get back.
1/900 pro race. Up to the minute race results now.
Bar to bars that go over the triple. And Pingree right on his tail. Tries to box him out, does so. Kevin Windham. Whoa!
You call 1/900 pro race. Bradshaw coming up now to challenge Doug Henry.
Oh, Pingree goes down with James Dobb.
1/900 pro race is absolutely the best.
Oh, what a bar-to-bar battle we've got going.
1/900 pro race, except no substitute.
Now the bike you want equals big-time bucks, correct? Incorrect. Do the math. During Suzuki Fest 97, get up to $500 in Suzuki accessories free with a selected Suzuki. Like the awesome GSX-R 1100. You also get free accessories with the Katana 600 and 750 and the RF 900R. And choose from financing options like 0 down and 9.9% APR on selected models. But hurry, Suzuki Fest won't last. So you plus Suzuki equals... Well, come on, add it up.
You're lucky. You only think everyone is out to get you. The Penguins and Rangers tomorrow at 7:30. The NHL on ESPN2.
Welcome back to the Metrodome and our 125 main event. And this young man, as he's done twice before this season, is simply dominating every lap from the whole shot on.
You can see right there after he jumps the triple, which no one else is able to do, he uses the outside berm. Going into that tight left, that inside berm's getting too deep. As you can see, the ruts are there on the finish line jump starting to develop. The rut on the inside of those corners forces you to slow down. We'll take a look at the Honda stopwatch. It'll be forever back to second. 8-second lead.
At least an 8-second lead. It was a 9 before that lap. So Villeman might be picking up the pace a little bit in second place.
Well, it's possibly that he's picking up the pace, and it's also very possible that Kevin Windham realizes where Villeman is and doesn't have any reason to push. Earlier in practice.
That's why I think it'll be interesting to see in our Honda stopwatch what the total lap time might be for Windham.
Right, I was just about to say earlier in practice, if I can remember right, Windham's lap times were about 49 seconds. He's cruising it now, so it'll be about 50, maybe a little bit more.
Windham coming around to the finish line jump, as you see it right there. 50.8, so it's about right where you predicted it.
Well, to turn it up a second a lap takes a lot of talent and confidence, especially with the track getting rutted up the way it is, having to deal with lappers. That last lap, Windham unable to do one of the triples. Electing to just double now. Being safe.
So Windham some 8 seconds in front of Villeman. Casey Johnson now is pulled away from Decker in third, and Willow is still hanging in the top 4.
Actually, Windham has really started to cruise. That's where he's been making up all his time. The last lap, he wasn't able to get over those triples. Villeman has actually picked it up.
Do you remember where Windham got his first 125 professional Supercross victory? Right here in the Metrodome.
Was it last year? It was a great battle between he and Pichon.
That's right.
Great battle, back and forth. Looked like it was going to continue the whole race till Windham finally just had a little bit more than Pichon.
And at that time, it was an east-west shootout type affair, as we had 3 of those last year. 125 is second behind this young man, taking his time. Kevin Windham didn't bother with a triple. A heel clicker. He just pointed to the fans in the final lap.
Well, these triples aren't that easy to jump. I don't think it's easy to do a heel clicker in the first place. I think we may see one here. He's going wide to get a run at it.
Oh! That's what the fans wanted to see with that horrendous lead on this young man, number 125, Villeman. Villeman, quite possibly, could move into second place in the point standings.
Good ride for Villeman. Fantastic ride by Windham. Every time he gets that hole shot, it's over.
A checkered flag for Kevin Windham, and Windham now has a 10-point lead on Villeman in the point standings. Robbie Raynard will have to figure out where the heck he ended up. He was in last place after having all kinds of trouble trying to fight his way back into it. But we have a points leader standing alone, Kevin Windham. Villeman second. Johnson, you see him there, third. Decker fourth, and Willow fifth. We'll be back with the official results, and Davey will be talking to our winner, Kevin Windham, when we return.
The Honda 4Trax 300 4x4, the Foreman 400, and the Honda Recon, a 250 that's all new from the ground, mud, and slime up. You could go to the ends of the earth and never find better ATVs. We know. We've been there.
1-800-COLLECT presents Max Jerome, Private Eye. When I saw her, my heart started pounding like a heavyweight speed bag. Until she started calling Collect without dialing 1-800-COLLECT.
You could be saving up to 44% by dialing 1-800-COLLECT, Angel. Let me show you how it's done.
It's so easy. Now let me show you how it's done.
Any Joe will tell you, 1-800-COLLECT is the easy way to save up to 44%.
Take everything you ever knew about cruiser motorcycles, everything you ever learned from your older brother, your friends, biker movies, and throw it out. Because the Marauder is a cruiser like no other, one only a high-performance company could have built. The Suzuki Marauder. It's time to move on.
125 action just concluded. The 250 main is next. Here is the top 10 results. The top 5, of course, Windham, Villeman, Johnson, Decker, and Willow. As we look at 6 through 10, let's go down to Davey, who's made his way to the podium.
Okay, very happy winner, Kevin Windham. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm very happy. You know, I didn't race Daytona, and I had a bad race at the last 125 race, so it was really important for me to come out here and do as well as I did. And for the rest of the season, man, I'm just going to try to play it so you know, smooth and not really cautious, but just try to go for consistency because I've had 2 wins and 2 really bad finishes. So.
Well, from the start tonight, you're on fire. You got the 1-900 Pro Race Whole Shot Award, $500, and also you got a comfortable points lead. Robbie Raynard didn't do that well.
Yeah, I was kind of looking back and I saw Robbie, but this is the first time I've got such a. So this is neat to get this 1-900 Pro Race deal for the first turn and the Whole Shot Award. That's the first time for me to get, and I'm really happy about that as well. You know, I always see everybody go through that white line of chalk in the first turn. I just wish it could have been me going through there first, and tonight it was.
Well, congratulations, Kevin. And next we have David Villeman. This guy came all the way from France. Well, first of all, welcome back to America.
Yeah, I came back Monday, so I trained a little bit at FMF. And now I'm very happy with this second place because I was 2 months in France and I come back for the first race. I make a podium, second place. I'm very happy for Yamaha and FMF.
Will we see you at the next 2 rounds?
Yeah, I will be at Houston and maybe at Dallas. And I don't know yet for Las Vegas, but I will try to be there.
All right, well, congratulations, David.
Thanks a lot.
A gentleman and a terrific rider, David Villeman, all the way from France to take second place. In the point standings now, it's obvious that Kevin Windham has taken the 10-point advantage on Villeman, with still Houston and Dallas to go. So, as has been proven in the last 5 races of the 125 West, anything could happen. Villeman is in the right spot to take advantage of it if he should come on very, very strong in those last 2 Western races of the year. The champion for the evening, you see him there, Kevin Windham. The big guns, the 250 superstars of Supercross, are coming next onto the Metrodome track.
For years, ESPN has been working to improve sports for the fan.
This radioactive golf ball shows up 10,000 times brighter than a normal one. PGA champ Tommy Armour tries it out.
Though too toxic for tournament play, the bright ball did lead to a breakthrough in sports coverage. ESPN Net Sports Zone. Updated nearly 1,000 times an hour, it always has something new to make you a better fan. ESPN Net Sports Zone. Technology for you.
If leaves and branches are a problem, call 1-888-798-CHIP for a free catalog of the complete line of Patriot wood chippers and chipper vacs. Patriot recycling machines are easy to use, and Patriot's patented cutting system grabs leaves and debris for faster processing. Heavy-duty mulching machines or versatile chipper vacs. Patriot has the right machine for your yard for up to 40% less than competitive models. Call 1-888-798-CHIP. 1-888-798-CHIP.
You've seen lawyers.
I think that you should take the deal. I don't trust you.
I know. You've seen judges.
Get out of here.
I'm saying what I came to say.
I'll have you arrested.
As soon as I get out, I'll be right back.
And you've seen trials.
You withheld the truth from this jury. The truth that he tried to kill somebody else.
But you've never seen anything.
That was the most despicable thing I've ever seen anyone do.
Like this. The Practice. Tuesdays on ABC.
AMA Supercross on ESPN2 is being brought to you by Motorcycle Mechanics Institute. Quality training for the motorcycle industry. For more than 60,000 fans here at the Metrodome in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the time is here. The 250 main event. Hello, everyone. Art Ekman along with David Bailey. And, David, we've seen a momentum switch throughout the first half of this season. First of all, Doug Henry became the first two-time winner. He was fast. Then Jeff Emig became the first three-time winner. He took over that psychological momentum shift.
Well, I think McGrath would like to just become a one-time winner this season. And, you know, no matter how you slice it, looking at last year, winning 14 races, and how can he top that? This year without a win, although the indications from the heat race looks like he has the speed, his heat race being faster than Emig's, to win here tonight. It's possible. We're halfway through the season. He's in position to win this title, and imagine if he could do that without winning a single race.
But Jeff Emig does have the momentum, and he's trying to shake that bridesmaid title that he's had with Jeremy McGrath through last year anyway. I think he's really starting to carve his own niche in the history of Supercross.
Maybe later on in life when I'm 35 or something, when I'm old, like 35, no, you know, maybe then I'll think, hey, you know, I really did something cool. But right now, I'm just having a good time and racing motorcycles.
Many with such competitive natures and proud egos would have difficulty dealing with continually playing second fiddle to a living legend. Jeffro refused to let the perception of being second best to McGrath get to him.
To be compared and to be, you know, mentioned with that name, you know, when it goes back down in history, okay, well, it's Bob Hanna, Kent Howerton. There were a lot of fast guys in that era, but you always think, okay, Bob Hanna, Kent Howerton, you know, Rick Johnson, Jeff Ward. And, you know, to be, you know, bridesmaid is not that bad because I was the one that beat him. You know, I'll be known as the guy who kept Jeremy McGrath from being, you know, 15 straight victories, you know, like in an undefeated season.
Ever since he got his first mini bike, Emig has climbed the ladder to elite status the old-fashioned way, step by step.
My whole career has been based on all of these steps. I mean, every time that you think, you know, okay, man, I made it here, well, now there's another step to take. You know, it's like this building, and they just keep building it, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And, I mean, it actually started when I first started riding a motorcycle, you know, when I was 4 years old. And then my first race, and then my first amateur championship, and then my first 80cc championship, and then 125, and then, you know, it just keeps going on and on and on. And so maybe, you know, when I'm like 50 or something, I'll get my last championship as a vet, you know, senior vet pro over the hill gang type.
The mentors are many. His father, Team Green, Yamaha, and now those at Kawasaki. In talking with him, one gets the idea if Emig stops learning, the fun leaves, and so will he.
Whether it be my teammates or, you know, or my team managers and everybody on the team, it's just like this whole learning process. And I think that if you ever stop learning, then maybe you're kind of, you know, you kind of level out in your career. But I mean, you know, it seems like I'm learning something new all the time.
Winning Daytona was much more than his third win of the season, vaulting him into the points lead. It was one of those dreams that makes for a career highlight, affecting everyone.
It was like our parts guy last week called me after Daytona, and he's like, oh, man, I don't even think Jeff Ward ever won Daytona. You know, he was all amped out. So it's a good feeling, you know, when
and when everybody on the team gets the credit for winning.
When it's time to hang him up, Jeff Emig wants his legacy to be a remembrance of a thrilling occasion rather than statistics and titles.
I want him to think that, that I was a really talented motorcycle rider. He was so fast, he was so smooth that day, he was untouchable. That's what I want him to remember, not necessarily, oh yeah, he's got the most this or that, or he won so many 125 nationals or something like that. I'd rather him just, I want him to have that real image of just, man, that one day he was so fast.
Jeff Emig does go into this race with the edge, despite the fact now that Jeremy McGrath has never lost here in the Metrodome. He's won every race that has been staged here in Supercross in the Metrodome. Let's go down to Davey Combs.
One of the things about Jeff Emig is the guy is on fire on the starting line. We've had 2 races in the month of March, the Gainesville National, Daytona Supercross. This is the 3rd event, and each time Jeff Emig has led every single inch of the way. He's gotten the whole shot in his heat races. He's led both of the national motos, and tonight so far we saw him get a perfect whole shot in his heat race. Let's see if he can continue here in the main event.
On the parade lap, Jeff Emig, number 3. As you see, an interesting shot of how this course is laid out. The starting grid, the Suzuki starting grid, Jeremy McGrath, Emig, Lamson trying to fight his way back into the picture. Larry Ward, Greg Albertine making it in the semifinal round to the main event. Ezra Lusk, always fast, always dangerous. Michael Craig, he's riding with a broken hand. Brian Swink, an impressive performance coming out of the heats.
Also, Jimmy Button, who rode fantastic in his heat race, working his way up, looked like he was going to work his way into the lead, but ran out of time. LaRocco got him back right at the very end. And it's interesting to me, McGrath went up to the starting line. He had first pick, actually, after winning his heat race. Then Emig had second pick to the gate. Rather than lining up next to Jeremy like they usually do, we see them together a lot. Emig's picked about 5 spaces further to the left, so he'll be coming into the first corner, which is a right-hander, from the outside, which means he's got a lot of confidence in his reaction time to beat all those guys at the inside of him to that first corner.
You have to have a lot of confidence in your bike. Relax. That's Wyatt Seals, his mechanic. Wyatt Seals is on mic. Doesn't look like Wyatt's that calm, though. He's pacing back and forth.
Jeremy just trying to get that bike exactly lined up.
Keep your feet off the ground in the ruts. Get that thing up and high.
Tell him to keep his feet out of the way in those deep ruts.
The points race is really tightened up. With Emig's win, McGrath's 3rd place, and Henry's 10th at Daytona. Now, everyone in the top 10 has at least one bad race. We've had 4 winners this year, 2 new first-time winners. 9 different riders have stood on the podium.
You can see right there, Pete Steinbrecher, that's Henry's mechanic, jumping up and down that starting gate. Doug wasn't happy with the way his gate was just a little bit higher than everybody else's. He's like, hey, get out there and fix that thing. That can make the difference of getting a great start or getting stuck in the gate. That thing just has an inch or 2 further to fall. The reaction time these guys have, that could be a front wheel underneath it.
Emig, as you see, with a 6-point lead, but anything can happen here in round number 8. The halfway point of our Supercross season. With all the engines, I had a hard time hearing Wyatt. Just trying to give his rider McGrath some confidence.
McGrath clapping his hands again, loosening his neck, going through the same routine we always see him do it. Deep breath. Anticipating his first win of the season. Like you said, Art, never losing here. It's tough to come in here and lose one. He's obviously very comfortable in this soil, in this city, in this dome. And he sure looked good in the heat race.
Brian Huffman, the mechanic, is working on number 47's bike right now. That's why they're holding up the race.
He's lined up down almost the far inside gate. Looked like he wanted to raise his handlebars up just a little bit. There you see the eyes of Doug Henry. He needs to work his way back into this battle. He's had a really sore arm ever since the first national at Gainesville. I talked with his trainer. He says he's not 100%, but he's getting better.
The number of podiums a rider has is an indication of putting some outstanding races together. Your first, second, and third places to make a podium. Consistently high point scores. And you can see there that with his third place at Daytona, Jeremy McGrath has moved into the number 2 spot, tied with Jeff Stanton in number of podiums in a career. Of course, Jeff Ward with 64 is 9 in front of McGrath and Jeff Stanton. The 32nd board is up. Wyatt says, so long, good luck. And Jeremy McGrath trying to get into the win column for the first time in 1997. Has the goggles on and is ready to go.
This is when it's all up to the rider. Everyone has to step out of the way. No more communication. All he'll see now is what Wyatt puts on the pit board.
No rider in the history of Supercross has won the title without winning at least one Supercross. Jeremy McGrath with a good start, but it's Jeff Emig with the whole shot. McGrath is second. Jimmy Button is third.
Lusk going down in the first corner.
Along with Rich Taylor, number 30. But out in front is Emig, number 3, with McGrath, number 1, making a quick early move. Jimmy Button, a fantastic performance. They touch back wheels. McGrath getting rough. Jeremy McGrath still back in second place. Jimmy Button's got the inside move and is challenging for the lead. McGrath not giving up. They both hop by Emig. Oh, my goodness. Jimmy Button and McGrath bar to bar. Button in first place. Look out for Jeff Albertine. Greg Albertine, I should say, as Jeff Emig is right next to him.
What a great first lap.
Oh, Jimmy Button, our first lap leader. Then it's McGrath. Then, if you can believe it, it's Albertine. And then Jeff Emig. And Lamson is giving Emig. Something's wrong with Emig, I think. Lamson's just past him.
Oh, Emig's just completely out of sync right now. He got the whole shot, thought, okay, business as usual. And all of a sudden, McGrath off the triple. This triple right here tags him right in the rear at that inside. Then guys kept going by, so Emig's just out of his timing right now. We'll see what he's made of if he can carve his way back in the front.
It's bar to bar with Lamson. Lamson now moves into fourth. Lammy in a good position to take on Albertine for third. Jimmy Button is our leader. Jimmy Button has never won a 250 Supercross. He's won several 125ers. But right now, Jeremy McGrath pursues him in second place with his teammate Albertine in third. Lamson, the lone ranger for Team Honda, in fourth. Emig in fifth, and Larry Ward, Honda of Troy, in sixth.
Well, Button out front demonstrated in the heat race that he had the speed to win tonight. The question is, can he maintain that for 20 laps with this kind of pressure?
Jimmy Button had a chance to win here in 1994 in the 125s. He went off the track twice. And had a great comeback year that year, though. Came in second in points to Ezra Lusk.
McGrath all over Button right now, keeping him honest. These two starting to pull away just a little bit from Albertine. Albie getting that extra time in the semi after falling in the heat race. The lapped rider looking good so far.
Oh, it's a great ride for Jimmy Button, considering he's riding with a cracked cartilage in the rib section. Also was found out that the muscles around the heart were bruised. And so he's had to come back from that in the last 4 weeks. And here he is leading a 250 round as Jeremy McGrath. Not on his back bumper anymore. McGrath taking the inside corner. Albertine holding back Lamson well in third.
Oh, Lamson's off the track.
Lammy down on the ground. Another bad break for Lamson.
You can see the frustration right there, too, knowing he had a great shot at a podium, maybe a victory. Shaking his head.
12th in the first round, 10th in the second round, 9th, 12th, 12th, then 2 sixth-place finishes for Lammy. But now, after that encouraging move, Lamson is fighting from behind, way behind.
It was just starting to look up, and he got crossed up in those, I don't even know what to call it. It's not an easy section, I can tell you that.
Jeremy McGrath is starting now to pull up on Jimmy Button once again. Jeremy McGrath's going to show him a wheel or two here on the inside. Jeremy McGrath, his second lead of the Supercross season.
That was so smart. He'd been getting close to Button every time. Set him up. Button went wide, and Jeremy just went wide, took the line away.
How long can Jimmy Button stay with Jeremy McGrath now? Let's see if Jeremy, like the Jeremy of old, would now make a move to instantly pull away.
Run and hide. That's the plan. I would expect Jeremy in a 20-lap race, especially on past results, that he should be able to hold off Jimmy Button, not feel too threatened by Button. If Button was able to hold on to second here, I think he'd be happy with that. And Albertine's back on the podium again, in a position to finish on the podium after Daytona. Starting to get the speed he showed in the first round back.
This is the longest that Jeremy has gone without a win since he started in Supercross. Albertine moves past Jimmy Button into second place. Button not willing to give it up too easily. But now, Albertine, a very fine run in Daytona. Can he catch his teammate?
Oh, he definitely can catch Jeremy. He's got speed. Lamson has gone down again in the same section, and he's not moving.
Lamson is down, and he's not moving on the track. We'll take a break right now to check out the action. We'll be back with the 250s right after this.
Do you want to make more money? Then call this toll-free number to find out how easy it is to train at home for a better career. At ICS, more than 10 million men and women have prepared for new careers without ever setting foot inside a classroom. And now at home, in your spare time, you can get your diploma or degree. Choose from any one of these courses. Then call toll-free for free information about training with ICS.
Call 1-800-599-8889 right now for free information. There's no obligation, so call 1-800-599-8889.
NBA Tonight, Tuesday through Saturday at midnight, only on ESPN2.
Steve Lamson, who had the terrific practice crash during the week, sore, stiff, came into this race, gave it a good go, but now Steve Lamson went down for the count. The yellow flags are out on the stair-step section, which is a difficult section anyway. Wyatt Seals putting the board out for Jeremy McGrath. Zipping by the mechanics area. He has a 3-second lead on his teammate Albertine. Button is still in third. Emick a distant fourth.
Albertine getting all mixed up in that section right there. His foot slipped off the peg right as he entered it. Lost his rhythm, and you can see Button gained quite a bit of time.
Emick is 7 seconds in back of the leader. Let's go down to Davey Combs.
Wyatt, we saw you tell Jeremy to run and hide, but do you know that Jeff Emick is 7 seconds behind and starting to move up?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta count on Jeff coming up. He got a little rough start there and got banged around a little bit, but you gotta count on him being there, and oh, he will at the finish. So he's got to get away from him and put as much ground on him, between himself and Jeff as he can.
What about Albertine? Are you comfortable with Albie being second?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with it. I think Jeremy is too. I don't think Albie's going to do anything, to jeopardize either one of them.
You saw on our screen Lammy walking off. That's a good sign. Here's Jeff Emick in fourth place. Now, Jeremy McGrath has led one Supercross race this year. That was in Phoenix before 63,000 fans. Lamson, I'm still not sure if he knows he's in Minneapolis. Here's Larry Ward making a move on Jeff Emick. This would be a definite attack on the points situation.
Ward could definitely steal away some points and help Jeremy and Albertine, for that matter, pick it up. You can see Ward running into the back of Emick. His long legs able to recover.
The one big difference between this race when Jeremy won, or I should say was leading in Phoenix, and the race right now that Jeremy is leading is, number one, he's got his teammate Greg Albertine behind him in second, and number two, Jeff Emick was in second in the last race and just took advantage of a brain fade, with McGrath going down and Emick cruising on to victory. So it's a total different situation here at the Metrodome in Minneapolis.
Well, Jeremy was just starting to get that lead. I think at that point he was really rushing things, wanting to pick up that win. Now I think since then he's learned a lot about patience, trying to be consistent, let the race come to him. That's what he did last year a number of times. Ryan and Emig taking each other out in Houston was one I can recall. So Jeremy with his teammate in second, got to be feeling pretty relaxed out there.
Larry Ward still in the back bumper of Jeff Emig. Jeremy Albrecht, Emig's mechanic, trying to give him the fist, giving some encouragement to get up through the pack. Let's go to Davey.
Jeremy, you got half of the race left. You got 10 laps. Can you go after those guys?
Better. Actually, yeah. He had a little bobble at the beginning, shot again, and it looked like he made a mistake, which he's making a few here and there, and you can't really make mistakes right now. So, I don't know. You never know. Things could happen up front and be a closer race.
You know he's going to be in better strength than Button is, the third place rider, but what about first and second?
Well, usually first and second way a little bit, but it's still long. There's a lot to go, so I'm just hoping it goes our way.
Back to the action of the 250s. Jeremy McGrath, our leader. Could this be his very first win of the 1997 season?
Some of the hard chargers from behind. Henry and LaRocco just not too far behind Emig and Ward, starting to enter the picture now.
Jeremy McGrath hasn't put Suzuki in the win column yet this year, but he's been an instant boost to Roger DeCoster's program, and not just in getting cooperation from the factory.
Yeah, I think Suzuki is really happy. I mean, they've been really patient with me, which is excellent. I mean, I've struggled a little here and there, but I mean, you know, I think with me moving to the team, it elevated the other riders, and they felt that like they were a part of something, you know, which is not saying that I brought all this to them, but you know, it's a different attitude around there. Like our team, we feel like our team is, you know, #1 team out there, and I think the other guys feel that too. So I think that helps for sure with the results.
Jeremy's had a lot of rides this year, which were as good enough to be a victory, but the start wasn't there for him. Everything didn't come all together, and so far tonight, all those pieces of the puzzle are there, and he's got a great big lead now.
Henry in 6th spot. He's trying to chase Larry Ward right now. Well, back to McGrath. He has more podiums, more top 3 finishes than anyone this year, and that's what's kept him close in the points race. 5 podium appearances, despite getting used to a new bike, despite having to build a bike so quickly in the very beginning.
Well, I thought this guy was terrific last year. It's a great shot of looking down at the racetrack. You can't tell how much air they get off that triple, but you can see Jeremy there going wide in that corner. That's where he took over the lead from Button. It's a faster line to go wide, but to make that pass, he had to cut across the inside and take the line away, and it worked perfect.
Oh, the great shot from our Skycam here in the Metrodome.
Over the other triple, we stop for that inside rut. Into the off-camber zigzag. You see how deep that's getting. Wyatt telling him before the race, keep your foot out of that.
Already lapping Brian Swink. The Honda stopwatch is out. We might get some indication here as to his lead. About 5 seconds on Albertine in 2nd place. Here comes Button in 3rd place. And about 10 seconds on Emig. A lot of time to make up, and not many laps left.
Well, Jeremy's picked up time on Emig, but Emig has picked up a lot of time on Button for that podium spot.
He must like this track in Minneapolis. I mean, it's different in configuration every year, but Jeremy McGrath last year lapped every rider up to 5th place.
We may do that again tonight. He's going to get up there close. Pulling away more each lap. Through that off camber one more time. And these are the kind of races where even when you're winning, you get a little bit bored out there because it's the same thing lap after lap. Not much of a challenge after that wild first lap. The distance has stayed about the same back to Albertine. And you see the ruts starting to develop in that whoop section, making it even tougher.
Emig has got to make a great effort against Jimmy Button right now as he's approaching his back bumper. But Emig, points-wise, can't stand to have a difference like we saw in Daytona. When he took over the points lead, Henry was back in 10th. Emig won the race and jumped up in front of the points lead. Now with Jeremy McGrath out in front, it's very important that Emig pass Button and get as many points as he can.
Well, that's the corner where Jeremy did it. If he can stay close enough, unless he gets Button before that, he should be able to make that pass if Button leaves the door open. These guys' rhythm is nowhere near what Jeremy's got out front. You see him hopping over that stair step and off of it with a little bit slower timing.
You know, David, ever since Jeremy banged his wheel a little bit getting by him in the early part of the race, Jeff has been discombobulated.
Well, it's weird. Jeff has gotten a lot of hole shots, and when you get one, you think, well, that's that. I'll just continue to do what I've done the past few weeks, and then all of a sudden you get all that pressure, and you got guys coming around you on both sides, running to the back of you. It really messes you up, takes you out of your timing, and it worked. Jeremy doing just what he did last year, just attacking in the first, not even the first lap, the first few corners really paid off.
7-second lead on Albertine in second place. A couple of more seconds back to Jimmy Button and Jeff Emig. Larry Ward is right behind Emig, and Henry is behind Ward. It's been a freight train effect with Craig in back of Henry.
Henry's the one closing fast. He's got 3 guys right ahead of him. Valuable points for this title.
Let's check out the condition of Lamson. Davey.
Okay, I just saw Steve Lamson go out through the tunnel. He went with Wes McCoy's team manager. He was holding his arm. I didn't see his crash. It didn't look like anything was broke still. We're going to take him back to the EMS, get a little medical checkup, and see what happens.
Here comes Larry Ward on Jeff Emig. We've got 3 laps to go. Larry Ward trying to make a move on the points leader. Ward, Honda of Troy, number 6, a great leaping jump, but he can't get the swing and the momentum out of the berm.
Well, now Jeff finds himself in the points lead.
Here's Henry making a move on Emig.
How much pressure that is every week. If he lets these 2 guys get by him, look at Jeff coming up short on that triple. That's all.
Henry! And Emig comes fighting back. A 3-way bike battle. Oh, my goodness.
Look at Emig. Comes out of that smelling like a rose. It looked like he was going to get passed by both Henry and Ward. Looks like Henry put a lot of pressure on Ward still. Almost got by.
It's a battle for 4th instead of battle for 3rd. Henry getting by Ward. Emig in 4th behind Button.
That'll be 4 more points if Emig drops these 2 spots that he's going to put in the pocket of McGrath.
You know, it's just as important for Henry to get out in front of Emig, and he knows it. He's coming off a very sore arm. Henry leaping over Jeff Emig. Emig trying to hop back into the action. Bar to bar, they scrape bodies.
Emig just will not give up. It looked like that was it. Henry made the move, and look what happened to Henry. He went all the way around Emig. Now he lost both positions. Larry Ward sneaking in there.
McGrath, Albertine, Button, Emig, and Ward are top 5. And what a battle for 4th and 5th.
This is what Emig may look back on when this season's over with. This battle right here, these valuable points. Larry Ward just relentless here in the end of the race. Typically, this is where he starts to fade just a little and settle for what he put together in the early part of the race.
Well, we got a lapper now as they have to go around it. And it's to Jeff Emig's advantage so far, but Henry just hanging right with him. They're coming up on number 13, Brian Swink. We told you how long ago. It's just the white flag, the last lap for Jeremy McGrath. Could it be his 44th career victory here tonight?
He stretched that lead a little bit more over his teammate. This is the battle, though.
Larry Ward trying to make up time on it, and the flash bulbs are popping as Jeremy McGrath can feel it. Not very far to go yet. The difficult step up, step down. Here's Emig and Henry.
This is where Henry's been able to make his pass. See if he can do it again.
Button still in 3rd. Henry flips in there. Emig tries to take his line away. Henry has to hesitate. Bar to bar. Henry pops in front. He's in 4th on Emig. Next target right now will be Jimmy Button. And here's the checkered flag. Jeremy McGrath, his 44th career Supercross win, his first of 97. He said it was coming. The last 3 races he felt it. But here tonight, a very, very happy Jeremy McGrath. And Albertine, his teammate, hugging Jeremy McGrath. Jimmy Button with his best performance of his career.
When was the last time you saw all top 3 guys that happy? Usually this the winner's the happy guy, but Albertine's stoked to finish behind his teammate who picks up his first win on a Suzuki, and what a great ride for Button, hanging in there for 3rd.
Look at that camaraderie. And Jeremy McGrath has told us that he feels that coming over to Suzuki not only has helped in the development of the machine, but also has risen everyone up to a new level. And he doesn't say that with a lot of conceit.
Well, it's obvious that when you got a rider of Jeremy's caliber on your team, you just go down to the pits. In fact, at the first race at LA, just to try to get near the Suzuki semi was about impossible. It's been like that ever since. Jeremy's a little bit of an underdog, and that it sounds funny to say, but having not won a race this season, everyone's really rooting for him to win. Or last season, this may have been some boos because he was winning all the time. So what an amazing change of events to switch over to Suzuki, all the obstacles he had to overcome, and to pull off his first win here where he's never lost. It's got to be a really special feeling for him.
94, 95, 96, and now 97, his fourth win in a row here in the Metrodome. McGrath equaling a record he's also set before at other venues. But Jeff Ward, four-time winner in Houston. Stanton, 4 straight victories at Daytona. McGrath adds another 4 straight victories here in Minneapolis. Okay, Davey will be grabbing onto a very excited Jeremy McGrath. There's Roger DeCoster and Wyatt Seals congratulating him. A look at the top 10 finishes in the 250 points race when we return.
The bike you dream about means
it's a pain. All the people going, when are you going to win? Why'd you switch to Suzuki? Well, it's all worth it right now. He moves closer to the lead in the points. Picks up his first win, and I think they'll see some more of this before the end of the season, Art.
Yeah, don't you think that Roger DeCoster's a little happy now? His second victory of the season, and every race this year a Suzuki has been on the podium. McGrath and Albertine 1 and 2. How long has it been since a Suzuki 1-2 finish? And Jimmy Button, who was in tears after this race, took a 3rd place in Minneapolis. This is a race he'll never forget. Let's go down to Davey.
Well, Jeremy, welcome back.
Thanks a lot, Davey. It's nice to be back. You know, this is great. This is like winning my first race all over again. And, you know, I'm really thankful that Suzuki was with me. 800 Collect, Suzuki at Troy, Fox, Bell Helmets, Spy, No Fear, Alpine Star, CTI, Troy Lee, everyone. I mean, everyone's been a big help, and I'm glad everyone was so patient.
Isn't it cool when you win a race like this and 2 of your best friends get 2nd and 3rd right behind you?
Yeah, I'm stoked for Albie, and Butterfly's been my friend forever. You know, I'm so stoked for him. He's up here, he's pumped, so I'm happy for him, and you know, I think I'm back now.
Well, congratulations on your first win of the year and 44th of your career.
Thanks a lot, Davey.
Okay, now we're going to turn around. We got the 2nd place finisher here for the 2nd time in a row. Greg Albertine, welcome back to the podium as well.
Well, thanks. It feels great to be here. I just want to say my RM250 is running great, and I'm really stoked for Jerry and Jimmy. They both really deserve to be up there, and I'm very happy for them, and I just want to thank Jesus for protecting me out here.
You know, if you keep coming back up here, me and Art and David aren't going to be able to make fun of your Supercross skills.
Well, that's the plan. You know, I've taken a lot for a long time, but I really am feeling so much confidence, and just good to be up here. It feels right.
What do you think about Jeremy, your teammate, winning the race as well?
Absolutely stoked. You know, nobody works harder than him, and it's been a long time coming, and I'm just really happy for Suzuki. We got the bikes running great, and he rode a great race.
Well, it's a job well done, Greg.
Thank you.
And finally, the 3rd place finisher, and this guy, hey, man, I know you had a bet. You were going to get on the podium at some point. You won the bet.
I won the bet. I made a bet with a couple friends of mine, and here it is. I won the bet, so we're going to have a good time tonight and soak this in and enjoy it. It's been a long time, you know. I went to Europe, and I came back, and this is what I planned on doing last year, but it took a little bit longer, but, man, it sure is sweet.
Well, I'm sure all the Chaparral guys, including your team boss, Larry Brooks, is going to be really stoked to have you up here, Jimmy.
Yeah, he is. Him, Dave Dameron, all the mechanics, my mechanic, Anthony Paggio, everyone been giving it 100%, and I couldn't have done this without my wife behind me. Brandy, she's at home. I wish she could have been here, but this one's for you, honey.
All right, congratulations, Jim.
Thanks.
Well, that's quite a story in itself. Jimmy Button, who in 1993 and 94 was with Team Suzuki, a 125 contender. As he mentioned, he went to Europe in the 125 class in 95 and then became himself a privateer in 96 to try to fight back on the scene. Jeff Emig is being introduced for the PA system here at the Metrodome. But Jimmy Button of Team Chaparral on that Yamaha taking a 3rd has got to be a happy moment, as is, of course, a thrilling moment for Jeremy McGrath, who worked so hard to come back Let's get from the mechanics viewpoint Wyatt Seals as Davies with him now.
Okay, 44 wins for Jeremy McGrath, but one 250 Supercross main event win for Wyatt Seals.
It feels good, I tell you what. Man, I'm glad to be working with him. And I don't know, I hope they all feel this good, I tell you what.
I know you guys have been like kind of under the gun. A lot of people talking about Jeremy not winning, but you guys are right there. And with Jeff Emick not doing as well as he probably expected, you guys are right back in the title hunt.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Jeff had a lot of pressure on him, you know, taking the points lead and stuff. That always adds pressure to you. So I'm sure that maybe had a little bit of effect on the way he rode. But we've been under the gun for sure. And I hope this is going to take some of it off. You know, Jeremy just needs to, we need some repeats like this.
Well, if you feel like celebrating, I heard Button's going to have a little party.
Maybe I'll celebrate now. I thought I was going to go back to the room after this one, but I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Congratulations to you and your team.
Thanks, Davey. I appreciate it.
So here in the Metrodome, the crowd taking a long time to leave David Bailey. More than 60,000 people. Our second crowd this year, over 60,000. Just treated to a great piece of history.
Well, it was fantastic to see Jeremy get that first win, and I was pretty excited about that first lap. I wish that could have kept up a little longer. That was amazing. Just
wasn't that a great banging lap between the two for the edge?
Well, I thought Jeremy may have come in over that triple jump and run into the back of Emmig a little hot. He did a good job to keep the bike upright, as did Emmig. I thought Jeremy made high side. Of course, that famous footage we have of Jeremy running in the back of Mike Craig with a helmet cam, it looked a lot like that, but he kept it upright, and as soon as you push yourself and get into the lead the way Emmig's been able to do lately, you see the huge advantage that you get. And tonight it was Jeremy's turn.
There you see on the podium, they're not anxious to leave. They're not anxious for this to stop right now. As taking a look at the points, well, you know, we're now past the halfway point of the most successful Supercross season in sports history. Record crowds everywhere we've gone. And to continue to view this great competitive run for the title here in Minneapolis is absolutely no exception. It is still Emmig in first place, Henry in second place, and McGrath in third place. But only 6 points separate these three riders for a great move as we look forward now to Houston's Astrodome, our next event. Art Ekman for David Bailey and Davey Coombs, thanking you for joining us, and we'll bring you the action next from Houston the next time we get together. So long, everybody.
Thomas Mooster has won one singles title in his career on U.S. soil, and that was in 1988 in Boston. He has a chance to get in the finals here. I'm Patrick McEnroe, Luke Jensen alongside me. We expected a real dogfight tonight, Luke. It's been all Mooster so far.
And Courier not able to take advantage of opportunities, having 6 break points, playing a solid game, but not converting when it counts.
Exactly, and Mooster only have had 3 break points, but has converted 2 out of 3. It's pretty simple to see. Mooster's won the big points. And heavy forehand from Courier, and Mooster's shaking it off, so don't worry about it. So 3 points away. Luke Jensen now gone down courtside, anticipating Mooster wrapping this up here to talk to him on court. 15-all. Tough error from Courier, a long point there. Going for a little much on the backhand, and Mooster just not missing. Courier with almost twice as many unforced errors as Jim Courier tonight. Really forced Courier to go for more than he'd probably like. 30-15. Aggressive play from Courier there. And again, he threatens a Mooster serve. Crowd getting into it. Of course, this is Jim Courier's hometown. He grew up North Florida, but now he lives down here in Miami. And Mooster sets that up. He crushes the overhead. Now he stands at match point.
14.
And there it is for Thomas Mooster. He's won only one hardcourt tournament in his career, but he is on a roll this year. 20-3 on the hard stuff. Controlling Jim Courier tonight, 6'4", 6'3", and 6'4". Mooster advancing to the final of the Lipton. Taking another step to proving to the world he could play on the hard. And look who he'll play in the final. Sergi Bruguera making a comeback of his own. You think these guys would be playing in the French. No, they're in the finals of the Lipton. Been dominated by Americans. It'll be an all-European final on Sunday. Thomas Mooster, #2 in the world, dominating tonight.
Whoever said winning isn't everything never met Pete. Champions like Pete Sampras always play to win, and so can you with the no annual fee Pete Sampras ATP Tour MasterCard. Call toll-free to request the card that puts you on the ATP Tour and supports children's charities and cancer research through Pete's Aces for Charity program with every purchase you make. With fans like you on Pete's team, we'll help give those less fortunate a better chance to win. Pete plays to win, and so can you. Call now to apply.